Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's game 4 of these Western Conference Finals presented by AT&T. A beautiful evening on this Memorial Day in Minneapolis and a sellout crowd at the Target Center. Minnesota head coach Chris Finch speaking before. Our access brought to you by Intuit QuickBooks.
Remember, we found our aggressiveness the other day. We were the aggressors. We were up. We were active, and we made all the small plays. Don't forget, the heart of what we were talking about before going into that game was take Holmgren out of the game, take Williams out of the game. You guys did a really good job there. Establish the standard that we need to play to right now. Let's go out and do it again. Here we go. Let's go.
What a job from Chris Finch as his Timberwolves annihilated Oklahoma City. Just shocking, not that they lost, but how badly they lost. That's their vaunted starting 5. So their head coach Mark Daigneault says they have a track record of turning it around. Of course, for the Minnesota starting 5, what a performance from the opening quarter in that game 3. Again, not a must-win, but going down 0-3 against OKC would have been a nightmare. And now, how does OKC bounce back? It is just fascinating, the roller coaster ride we've seen in these playoffs in so many different series.
Well, I try to tell people when they ask about the playoffs, they say don't get too high, don't get too low. But that's the trick. It is an emotional roller coaster. Physically, mentally, there is so much going on. And then you get the opportunity to watch a team answer.
Game 3 was the first time in this series that Minnesota came with greater force and physicality. It was the first time Oklahoma City felt like they had been on their heels in this series in quite some time. Can they get back to who they are?
Well, Minnesota was impressive in their reaction to the win postgame. You heard phrases like, hey, they still have a 2-1 lead. We're still down in this series. It's the first step in the right direction. They knew it's only one game, and a loss here tonight would put OKC right back in the commanding driver's seat. And Julius Randle, a big part of that victory on Saturday night. That was on Saturday night. Meanwhile, OKC trying to get this big win on the road, just 3-3 on the road in these playoffs. They score a lot less on the road, and they allow a lot more points on the road. They allow 15 points per game more on the road in this postseason. So Randle guarded by Williams. Of course, Dort is on Edwards. There's some great individual matchups, but both these teams play spectacular team defense. Dort trying to fight over a screen. Gobert gets it, drives down the lane. Shot blocked. Holmgren got a piece of it, and SGA comes the other way. Drives, kicks it out right side. Jalen Williams nails the first shot for the Thunder.
And that's what they do, Mike. That's that block. Now, I love to see which team is going to meet that intensity first.
Conley setting it up. Randall's got the mismatch with SGA. Turns, shoots, and gets it to go.
He allowed Julius to get to that strong left hand. His touch is incredible.
He had the ultimate bounce back game. Again, benched in the 4th quarter of game 2. Started really well in game 3. Jalen Williams, talk about bouncing back. He knocks down his first 2 shots. He was just 3 of 9 from the field in game 3. Nobody played well for OKC. Jay McDaniels, everybody hitting shots to start this one off. Minnesota's been terrific at home, 5-1 here at the Target Center in the playoffs. Williams tosses up a wild shot, ball deflected. And it appeared it might have been off one of the Timberwolves players, but they say Minnesota ball.
Jaden McDaniels working one-on-one on Chet Holmgren. Yes, Chet's 7 foot. Don't forget, Jaden's 6'10". That fadeaway is on point.
Conley using the screen, gets a good clean look, in and out. Hartenstein the rebound. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander here in the Bulls, only 14 points. He had been on one sensational run. Had a streak of 30-point games, ended 5. Misses that shot, rebound Holmgren. Holmgren goes inside, off the glass.
Well, and you look, there was 3 guys shifted over to help Rudy out on SGA. So when that shot goes up, offensive rebounding is a lot easier for Chet Holmgren in that spot.
Williams very physical right there on Randall, pokes it away. Randall gets it back, he's double teamed. Hartenstein knocked it loose out of bounds. Boy, there was a lot of contact on that.
Well, look at the shift. Again, you look at Julius Randle. He's navigating it, battling, and this is who OKC is. We saw none of this in Game 3. Just taking his time, and that's what he wants, but you got to help him out. You can't let him split.
Gobert hands off Conley. Shot clock at 6. Mike Conley drills the three-pointer.
His presence is vital to this team. There's just a calmness he brings.
Holmgren took a shot. That won't go. Holmgren gets it back. Hartenstein kept it alive. Hartenstein kicks it out. SGA. Lou Dort is going to get a three-point look. Rebound out to Hartenstein again. Jalen Williams fakes. Dort chased off the three-point line and draws the foul. Nice head fake on McDaniels. The adrenaline is flowing on the defensive end on both sides.
So special situation plays. Sideline, baseline, out of bounds. Off the inbound pass, little handoff for Rudy, who is an exceptional screener over the course of his time. Screen assist, he knows the angle, gets Mike Conley a clean one.
Lou Dort to the free throw line. When you're Lou Dort and you're first team All-NBA, and you have to guard the opponent night in and night out, you have to be mentally tough, because when you guard the best player, Doris, you're going to get burned on some nights, and he got burned the other night.
Mike, they talk about shooters having a short memory. That's what great defenders have to do in the league, because Anthony Edwards is going to get his. What I do notice is Dort is almost pressing up more tonight, at times trying to deny him. Look how close he is and how far. That's an illegal screen. Just that pressure by Dort out front, making an impact early.
Sometimes hard to measure a defensive impact with stats, but this is the intangible, what makes him such a great defender, fighting over the screen.
Well, and look, you got to be smart up there. You look at, you got a foul on Julius Randle. You got a foul on Jaden McDaniels already on a pump fake. You got to keep your discipline early in this game.
I don't understand how he argued that call was Edwards. Off the turnover, finds McDaniels. That was clutch from Minnesota in the first quarter of Game 1. Was there a whistle on a foul? Must have been a late whistle, because everybody started going back up the floor. It appeared there was a foul on the dunk.
Just a poor pass. Always live ball turnovers, particularly top of the floor. You're going to get a 2-on-1 situation, and Jaden, big time challenge. And how about this finish?
Oh yeah, that's definitely. It was a late, but the right call.
McDaniels 10 points, 6 boards, and terrific defense in Game 3. He's got 5 points already. Holmgren picks up his first foul. Jalen Williams, a lot of room, and nails another 3. That's his second three-pointer.
And Edwards, you can't shoot the gap on 2 screens. Not against J-Dub. That is not what you could do. You can't give him that much space.
McDaniels very aggressive offensively early, but discouraged there by Holmgren. 7 on the shot clock. Dort. How about these two guys going at it? Randall spins, kicks it out in the corner. Conley has to heave it up. And Dort the rebound. That's some strong defense from Lou Dort.
I don't like Julius Randle at the top of the key versus Lou Dort versus Alex Caruso. I like him in the block. That's harder to work up there.
Lou Dort to get a clean look outside. That one way off. Ball knocked out of bounds. Still Thunder ball.
And we talk about staying attached to a body. Look, you're trying to go under 2 screens. That's impossible to do. That gives him all the time, and there's no contest. That's an easy way out. You got to take the hard way out. Get on his body and trail him the entire way.
14 on the shot clock. Hartenstein to Williams. Williams inside. Double team. Knocked away by McDaniels. Picked up by Edwards. 2 turnovers early for OKC. Randall hoists up a 3. Rudy Gobert the rebound. Edwards back to Conley. Conley wide open corner 3. McDaniels in and out and in again. McDaniels 8 of the 13 points. The spin move. Back out Dort. A contested 3. Got it. OKC with 14 points. 4.5 minutes in, they had 14 points total in the first quarter of game 3. Conley misses, but Gobert right there to clean it up. Hartenstein wanted a whistle. Gilgeous-Alexander already 3 assists. Jump shot bounces around, the soft touch. Those are his first points. Edwards using the screen, gets inside, crossover, kicks it out. McDaniels, good look. Holmgren goes high for the rebound. Dangerous pass, but Williams able to catch it in traffic. Oh, we've seen that OKC defensive intensity to start this one. Both teams so good defensively. Gilgeous-Alexander using the left hand.
Come on, how good is that? He is attacking the body of a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. In game 3, one of the big differences was Rudy's impact on those exact plays. You see Shea, no hesitation, go right at him.
Randall threw it behind. Edwards trying to hold on. Dort comes up with it. Sloppy possession that time. Second turnover for Minnesota. Hartenstein not looking at the basket. Jalen Williams head down, kicks it out. Holmgren. Holmgren inside, blocked by Gobert. What a rejection from Rudy Gobert. McDaniels down the lane, layup is good. Timeout OKC. McDaniels 10 early points.
Well, Rudy Gobert got beat on the prior possession. The Frenchman's got some pride. At one point known as the Stifle Tower, he says, Mr. Holmgren, not right there.
And look, defense turning into offense. McDaniels getting the long-armed layup.
Playoffs presented by Google. Rudy Gobert with a sensational block and great concealment of grabbing the jersey as well.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. They probably got away with him, but I love that block shot because he meets him at the rim. Before verticality, that's where all the shot blockers did their work.
Edwards guarding Williams. Williams drives left-handed. Oh, nice soft touch, underhanded off the glass.
Holy smokes. That's with your offhand from that distance?
Williams has 10. McDaniels with 10. Dort, good ball denial on Edwards. Edwards trying to get untracked. His first shot, Caruso right there to greet the ball, knocked loose. McDaniels couldn't get it. And a whistle and a loose ball foul.
But Dort's level of aggressiveness on the defensive end, it is almost 7 minutes played, and Anthony Edwards has yet to take a shot. So pick and roll, Chet has to pick him up. Look at the convergence. This is what he sees on penetration. And then this is where the foul occurs. Look at him lay out to try to make that play. I'll take that foul any day of the week.
That's a typical Lou Dort play. Naz Reid in the game, lost the dribble. Good physical defense from Jalen Williams. They are play here to start. DiVincenzo guarding SGA. Sneaks inside, layup, bank shot good with 3 Minnesota players around him.
You can't have that if you're Minnesota. You cannot have 2 guys come over and just a simple split. You got to get body to body and close off that lane.
Randall thought he was fouled. Caruso knocked it loose. There's so many deflections, great hands by OKC. Naz Reid knocked it out of bounds, still Thunder ball.
You have a second defender come over. You have a third defender there. Now watch this. If he's going to go, you can't have all of that space. That's too much space for him to work with. If you're going to bring bodies to close gaps.
And a timeout called by Chris Finch. 5-point lead for the Thunder here in the first.
Want more playoff stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the basketball playoffs in three-pointers?
Well, a successful challenge on that last out of bounds. Naz Reid reaching around. but last touch by Jalen Williams. Always interesting, guys, when you challenge an out-of-bounds call this early in the game. Now, he still has another, but I'm always wondering the reasoning behind it.
You're always confused. You understand you want to battle for every single possession, but there is also key possessions, whether it's a foul on a guy or those are the things that, in my opinion, I've heard other coaches talk about it. Unless it's going to take one of my guys out of the game, I'm going to save it for later.
Or take points off the board. Kenrich Williams getting some minutes again with the deflection. Another forced turnover. Game 3 was the first time in the entire playoffs that OKC's opponent had less turnovers than they did. Gilgeous-Alexander, nice spin move, jumper's good.
Well, that was their 5th turnover, and a couple more points off that. And Shea, you allowed him to dance to the absolute sweet spot for him. 14 to 15 feet, that is his area.
Well, the Thunder weathered that early storm again. The crowd just crazed to begin. Naz Reid gets a three. The effortless long-distance shot from Naz Reid. He's got unlimited range, but had not been shooting the 3-ball well. Played much better in game 3. Williams answers right back. Jalen Williams is 3 for 3 from long range.
Better start closing that space, CB.
DiVincenzo can't get it to go. That space was not available in game 3. Williams to SGA Caruso. DiVincenzo trying to stay in front. Williams again, a lot of space. Can't get that one to go. Ball batted out of bounds. And they say it's going to go the other way. Tonight's playoff schedule brought to you by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. TNT Tuesday, Game 4 in Indiana. 8 o'clock Eastern start. ESPN Wednesday, Game 5 of this series. Who knows what's going to happen in the Knicks Pacers series? Who knows what's going to happen tonight? It's just been just crazy sequences.
I know we'd like to have one of the close games TNT has been afforded through their first several.
Yep, Kevin Harlan, Stan Van Gundy, and Reggie Miller have had some close games. We've had a bunch of blowouts. As Alexander Walker drives back up top to Reid. Reid off the bounce, kicks it out. DiVincenzo, no hesitation, get it. There goes Dante DiVincenzo.
How about the skill in Naz Reid, though? He hits you with the deep 3, and then his handle tight enough, and how about the pass?
SGA, Williams fakes, pulls up, elbow jumper, that's good. He played the whole 4th quarter in the blowout and scored a bunch of points. He also had that really strong game 1. Alexander Walker answers back. And Minnesota's 5 for 10 from 3 now. They were 20 of 40 from 3-point range in game 3. Both teams shooting lights out to start. Gilgeous-Alexander steps back, calmly nails the 3. He's 5 of 6 from the field. He's got 11 points, 4 assists.
Go ahead, DB. Go ahead, DB.
No, you have the disgusted look that they're giving Shea that much space.
DiVincenzo, ball deflected. And a loose ball foul. It's going to go against Rudy Gobert.
Well, and it's, look, you understand Rudy, but just watch the patience. He takes his time. Here, Rudy's in a good spot. Now here, in my opinion, Rudy's got to get up and then depend on the help defender, because that's an uncontested shot for Shea, especially after he's already hit one.
By the way, Anthony Edwards has not taken a shot yet. Whistle on a foul. Gilgeous-Alexander tried to get through 2 defenders. Neither defender liked the call. Obviously, the crowd doesn't like it. Chris Finch looking up.
Well, there's been some frustration at the number of fouls, but he scrapes his left arm, and that is why the ball comes loose.
Also, the foot, a bit of a trip. Not much. Again, with all the contact that's going on, but that appeared to be a foul.
Greetings, National Basketball Association fans. Enjoy this break in the action to disappear for a moment and stretch your legs to regroup. Buckle your seatbelts, folks, because things might get a little heated. And now, back to the Game 4 showdown.
Well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 14 points total in game 3. Already has 13 points here in the first. He's hearing a free throw merchant chants from the Timberwolves fans. Edwards now guarded by Cason Wallace. Edwards up top. A swarming defense from OKC has returned here in game 4. DiVincenzo drives, Euro step, floats it up, and good. 5 points off the bench for DiVincenzo.
You have to be able to operate under duress if you're a ball handler. And the one way to attack pressure or to beat pressure is to attack pressure downhill. And that's what Dante did.
Cousin guarding cousin here. SGA. Wallace, again, a wide open three-pointer. Can't get it. Hartenstein the rebound. I don't know if it hit the rim. Isaiah Joe comes right back.
We've seen multiple offensive rebounds from OKC. They're getting extra shots, extra opportunities.
Edwards goes inside, count it, and a foul. That's his first field goal attempt, and he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Again, I like this. OKC is saying it should be on the floor, but watch, here's the gather, and then there's the foul. So now this is the continuation. It looks long, it looks smooth, but at the end of the day, that is the right call. See, there's the foul, and the gather's already happened. So yes, it looks like the play continuated, but at the end of the day, that's the right call.
Ball deflected out. Hartenstein the foul. Edwards had 30 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists in that game 3 victory, but it was his defense that I think inspired his teammates. He was sensational on the defensive end. Caruso steps back. Three-pointer off the mark. Ball nearly tipped in. Battled for it. Wallace had it, lost it, gets it back again. SGA on the drive. Wallace guarded by Edwards. Isaiah Joe, same spot, different result. Edwards the rebound. Final seconds here in the first. Edwards drives. And Carey hesitated there. Got the hand under the ball. That's the 7th Minnesota turnover here in the first.
Also feels like a lot of the 50-50 balls are going OKC's way.
Holmgren comes in. 3 seconds remaining. No foul to give here. Jalen Williams will also check in.
3 guys around him.
That tends to change your decision making.
Yeah, at least make you think about it a little bit longer.
Well, we've got plenty of time to get off a decent shot. Williams falls down, gets the pass. Edwards right with him, chucks it up. Partially blocked by Reed, and that will end the first. Minnesota shoots 63% from the field, and they're down 7. And again, those 7 turnovers. And that man, after a rough game 3, Gilgeous-Alexander playing like an MVP to start game 4.
Back to the Western Conference Finals presented by AT&T. Mark, you said you guys needed to be the aggressors tonight to set the tone. How do you think you're doing so far?
Both teams are competing really hard. It's a physical game, but we set a good tone in the first quarter.
What's working defensively for Lou on Anthony Edwards, holding him to just 2 points?
5-man defense, but good pressure. He's been in his pocket the whole time.
All right, thanks for your time.
All right, Lisa. Caruso misses a 3. Terrence Shannon Jr. getting some early minutes once again. He's become the 9th man in the rotation. Was terrific in game 3. He's become a crowd favorite rather quickly. Stolen by Williams. A telegraph pass, and Jalen Williams now with 15 points here in the first half.
8 turnovers, 8 points off. This is who OKC is. You are helping them to score.
Naz Reid drives inside, reverse, and rolls in. What a shot from Reid. He had a 7-footer right around him.
Well, that was a big-on-big screen, too.
Jalen Williams feeling it. Not that time, though. Reid snatches the rebound. Alexander Walker stripped, knocked out of bounds. Still T-Wolves ball.
See, for me, look, you got two bigs. You got Julius Randle and Naz Reid out there on the perimeter with two all-defensive guards guarding them. They're not doing the proper things of holding a body and then getting open. They're just letting these guys hit the passing lanes. That's the disadvantage of having bigs play on the perimeter versus guards.
Zach Sarba having a little chat. Caruso and Randle pushing and shoving each other before the ball inbounded. Inbounding. Shannon, not shy, played very well, very aggressive. Randle against Caruso, triple team, gets it out. 5 on the 24. Shannon can't hit, Randle couldn't grab it. And it's going to go against Minnesota. I believe Randle, that's his second.
Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, they're never going to lack for company. This team, Oklahoma City, if the ball touches the paint, it is like sharks in the water, folks. They want to take that away as first priority.
Holmgren, fake the three, now drives inside the slam. That paint just opened up, and an easy 2 for Holmgren. His second field goal. Lead back up to 9, equaling the largest lead of the first half. Shannon to Randle. Alexander Walker connects. Boy, he's had some really good minutes in this series. Now 6 of 12 from three-point range. That's what's keeping them close despite all the turnovers. Minnesota only down by 6 now. Jalen Williams lights his mismatch against Conley. Blocked by Conley. Williams gets it back. 5 on the 24. Kicks it out. Wallace, the fake. Now fires three-pointer. That won't go. And Shannon boxing out Holmgren. That was one tough physical defensive sequence. Shannon drives and finishes. Holmgren fakes. Little out of control, got it back, hangs on, flips it up, count it! Oh, Chet Holmgren falling down, throws it off the glass. Shannon again the drive and draws the foul. Shannon just brings instant energy off the bench.
Alex Caruso is screaming, though, because if there's a foul here on Shannon, he wants the exact contact on Chet. But to me, this is just a missed stumble. A little bit of contact there, but that's two guys on the same spot of the floor. And how about this defense from Mike Conley on Jalen Williams? He's thinking he's got a mismatch, and Mr. Conley says, I've been doing this a long time.
Mike Conley during the regular season had 4 block shots total for the whole season. He's a really good defensive player, NBA All-Defense at one point. Well, that was quite the rejection. Meanwhile, Shannon comes in. The bench right now for Minnesota, they have 19 of their 38 points. And this rookie from Illinois, boy, they got something in him. Didn't play a lot during the regular season. It's a numbers game. Sometimes it's tough on a veteran team. He says, I'll wait my turn. But when his turn comes, he produces. Isaiah Joe and Hartenstein. Isaiah Joe, nice move and finish in traffic. And a whistle as well as he got knocked to the ground. Dante DiVincenzo will pick up his second foul.
I love to see Isaiah Joe working. Again, he's a three-point shooter. We know him as that. But you got to know your own scouting report. If people are going to jump up on that three-point line, you have to work on that downhill game. And that's what he does to get an easy bucket.
Mark Daigneault says pound for pound, he's as physical as any player that he has on his roster.
That's a bold statement considering some of the dudes he's got on his roster, Mike.
Another second-round pick, Richard. First couple of years with the Sixers, misses the free throw. Ball batted out. Hartenstein's been around for a lot of those. Wallace goes inside, kicks it out. Williams fires and hits. Henrich Williams again, some good minutes to lead right back up to 9. Conley to Reid. Naz Reid kicks it out. Shannon wide open, puts it in. He's doing it again. 7 points in 3 minutes off the bench. Williams alley-oop to Hartenstein. Jalen Williams doing a little bit of everything for his team. That's the norm. Shannon deflected and stolen. Wallace knocked away from behind. Alexander Walker ahead of the pack, guarded left-handed. Beautiful move from Alexander Walker off the turnover.
Well, what a group this has been for Minnesota. The pace they're playing with, the ability to get downhill.
Jalen Williams pulls up, jump shot, short. Hartenstein, another rebound. And a whistle. Called for the foul. And grabbing the rebound.
Again, just working, getting out in transition. That's inexcusable in my opinion. That turnovers you got to get back, but with the left-hander, the little offhand finish, that's difficult.
Mike, I'd like to see Isaiah Hartenstein be a little bit more ambitious on the offensive end. His unwillingness to look at the basket. We know how good he is with the floater, but they're just playing him to pass. He's got the opportunity to spin and go dunk it sometimes. Like, use their thought process against him. He's doing unbelievable work on the glass. He's great defensively. I just want him thinking score a little bit more.
It's crazy. Today's NBA, so much of that is grab the offensive rebound, throw it out for an open three. Here's Edwards being harassed by Dort. DiVincenzo off the bounce. Shannon, guarded by SGA, poked away. There was some contact there. Gilgeous-Alexander to Lou Dort. Inside pass deflected. And DiVincenzo picks it up. 5 turnovers for OKC, 10 for Minnesota. Such tenacity on the defensive end from both teams. Gobert down low with Wallace. Smart thing committing the foul and sending Gobert to the free throw line. First foul on Cason Wallace. And Gobert will go to the line. Did not have an impact in the first 2 games, but certainly did in game 3, especially that open court steal of SGA that got the crowd fired up. This will be the 5th and 6th free throws from Minnesota. OKC has taken 5 so far here in the first half. Time for an NBA 2K25 locker code. Use this code to redeem a My Team 100 OVR pack. And don't forget to download NBA 2K25 My Team on mobile to play on the go.
Mike, you playing the game? You playing at all?
Could you tell by the way I read that?
I was like, look, if you want to throw the promo, me and Doris, we call the games, everybody. Free promo there for NBA 2K.
Kendrick Williams the rebound as Rudy Gobert misses a pair of free throws. 6-point lead for OKC.
Back to the zone with Rudy to Richard's point at the high point of it.
Cason Wallace, an open 3, got it. And that's the 8th three-pointer. Both teams shooting extremely well. Thunder 57% from the field. And Minnesota 65%, but they trail by 9. Again, the turnovers. Edwards gets it. Edwards down the lane, inside, blocked, but foul by Dort.
So DB, they messed up that zone last time. Before, that's supposed to be a wing player. See, Rudy should step up. That should be Nickeil Alexander that's there. Rudy should be at the top like they were the first time. They're still a little confused on that zone. Sometimes new wrinkles are new wrinkles for a reason.
Tonight's show performance brought to you by Coors Light. Doris.
After a rough game 3 for the 2 stars, what a composed half of basketball by Jalen Williams. Look at the pace he's playing with. Pick and roll action. Julius Randle is hanging back. He's like, you're going to give me the 3, I will take it. Now you get a pick and roll. A little bit higher out is that screen. You're attacking the big in space. That's tough to handle. And give me that little shimmy shake, Shea, right into his sweet spot. 28 points.
Look at the difference. Again, Edwards, he's played 13 minutes. He's taken 1 shot, has 2 points, 1 assist. Certainly part of it, Richard, has to be the defense has been terrific. They want to They want to attack him and get the ball out of his hands, but he has to be more forceful.
There's got to be a lot more forceful. And look, I don't worry about Anthony Edwards. You don't worry about a primary scorer. If he doesn't get going, because he gets to choose his pace. He can come out and shoot 20 shots in the next 3 quarters, so you don't worry about it. But there's still something about how forceful you're playing downhill.
Edwards, by the way, this is his 41st playoff game. His playoff average, and that's a huge sampling. He's averaging 27.5 points per game in the playoffs. That's top 10 all time. Now he's picking up his defense guarding SGA. His defense again, big part of that blowout victory game 3. That time though he picks up a foul, and that's going to be his first. Crowd certainly doesn't like it. They're not in the penalty yet.
Before this series started, Chris Finch told us our best matchup is Anthony Edwards on Shea. And is that walking into his space? I love the pressure. Like, I love him setting the tone, trying to make Shea work. No call there. It's a little walk up into him. I don't know. I don't love it.
Shea's drawing that foul, dude.
Absolutely.
He's drawing.
I don't love it.
Gilgeous-Alexander goes inside, trip falls down, ball knocked loose. Let's go the other way.
Now, I think Shea was tripped on that play. That was an actual foul, nothing there, but it looked like he was tripped, or he tripped over his own feet. We'll have to check it out on the replay.
Alexander Walker, McDaniels. Dort is attached to Edwards wherever he goes, trying to fight over screens. Edwards gets inside, back out. Alexander Walker, another 3. Got it! Nickeil Alexander-Walker got 11 points in 8 minutes off the bench.
Great job relocating by Alexander Walker.
Holmgren tries to answer and does. Both teams shooting the 3-ball extremely well. Edwards slips and falls. Gobert knocked away a couple of times. Holmgren picks it up, throws it ahead. Kenrich Williams throws it right back away. Sloppy play. DiVincenzo fakes, drives inside McDaniels. Layup is good. Boy, defensively, these two teams getting after each other. Minnesota's shooting 68% from the field, and they're down 5. Gilgeous-Alexander can't get it to fall. Rebound knocked loose out of bounds. And it's going to stay here. Williams and Caruso come in.
Let's watch Minnesota working off pressure. Jaden McDaniels, the little pitch. Dante sees a big attacking him on the closeout, and he goes, I'm going to go right at you. Nice little unselfish dish to your 6'10 partner.
Well, the officials just chatted, and they changed the call, so it's Minnesota ball. 5:14 remaining. Just incredible shooting from both teams, despite such physical defense. Only 13 free throws taken. McDaniels sets, fires, can't hit. Gilgeous-Alexander wants to go one-on-one, goes right at his cousin inside. Layup no good. The tip misses as well. Rebound, knock loose, whistle, and more free throws. He only took 4 free throws in game 3. This will be his 3rd and 4th tonight.
I love seeing him get downhill, and he goes to body, and then can offensive rebound. They have been attacking that offensive glass. That has helped them get those second opportunities and put them in a good spot.
They're winning on the margins again because they've gotten to the offensive window. They've forced turnovers. Their second chance points are adding up. They're out rebounding them. So this is how OKC does it. This is their formula.
8 offensive rebounds. There you see the numbers in this series. Big free throw attempts first 2 games. Goes 1 for 2 that time. Lead back up to 6. Largest lead was 9. Jaden McDaniels, another aggressive offensive game. DiVincenzo open. Can't get it. And Holmgren pulls down the rebound. Rebounds, OKC 16-8. Randall guarding SGA, has some room, 3-pointer, it's good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with his second 3-pointer, 17 points here in the first half. McDaniels against Holmgren, pull-up jumper, won't go. And a loose ball foul against the Thunder. Both teams in the penalty, so free throws here.
He just walks into his space. Look, if you're going to give, and I understand why you give him the space. For me, you would want Shea to shoot threes versus getting downhill, but you still have to make him feel you. He's not feeling anything. He's just dribbling and then basically shooting a set shot. Too easy, too open.
He just picked up Gilgeous-Alexander his first foul. Gobert, who missed his first 2 free throws, will head to the line. Now they put DiVincenzo on. I don't know what Rudy Gobert was even at the line for. If anything, you try and dupe the refs and put somebody else on. DiVincenzo has had a good impact here in the first half. Wednesday night, Game 5, back in Oklahoma City. Will it be 2-2 or 3-1? Coverage gets underway. NBA countdown, 7:30 Eastern. Tip-off shortly after 8:30. 7 points. 3 assists for Dante DiVincenzo. 30 bench points for Minnesota here in the first half. Holmgren almost stolen. Williams, SGA against Rudy Gobert, and draws the foul. Gobert upset, the fans irate, and SGA calmly walks to the free throw line.
They're putting him a little bit more on the empty side. You see Rudy trying to contend with him, but his left arm is reaching in there, and as soon as Shea feels that, and there's contact on the elbow, this is why he's called the free throw merchant.
Every player in the league can do this. Now, he drives more, he does it more, but if you put your hand there and you try to raise your left hand to shoot a jump shot, and for me, the free throw merchant stuff, the numbers prove that it's not true.
I agree.
It's just a frustrating thing. I get it. But if the numbers don't prove it, then it's just your opinion, and you know what they say about opinion.
You were making the point the other night that you had seasons where you averaged 8 free throws.
Like multiple times, and so 7, 8, 9 free throws for an elite scorer, for a top 10 scorer, especially the leading scorer in the league, that's not a lot.
You averaged 8 free throws? What era was that?
Oh, and pull up the stats, NBA stats, pull them up a couple of times, Mike.
Lead back up to 9. Conley and Randall play catch. Williams, Randall's been quiet, just 2 points. Turns up top, Edwards, shot clock winding down, he's got to get it off, just doesn't time. Comes up short, Gobert able to get the rebound, he's mauled, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Good foul though, Mike.
SGA took a shot trying to defend in there, and Rudy Gobert, good aggressive play on the boards.
Great pressure though. I mean, this is OKC's defense. Tough fadeaway contest at the last second. And you foul this guy, right? You have to make Rudy make shots. He's got the weak side. Shea is the only one over there trying to contend with him. It's the right play to foul him.
64% free throw shooter for his career. He's 2 for 6 coming into this game. 0 for 2, so 2 for 8 in the series. And the struggles continue.
So I had an opportunity to play with the late, great Dikembe Mutombo. That's who Rudy Gobert reminds me of. Wasn't a great offensive threat, but Dikembe Mutombo would anchor your defense. He would block key shots. He would hit key free throws. Yes, Rudy might not be, he's probably in the latter third of his prime, but he is so effective down there when you.
Both of them multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards. 8-point game, Gilgeous-Alexander against Gobert. He likes this matchup, pulls him back out. Lou Dort off the bounce, back up. Now a wide open 3. Conley the rebound. Boy, Caruso, good ball denial. They couldn't get it to Edwards. Randall, that's his second foul on Gilgeous-Alexander. They're in the penalty, so Randall will shoot free throws. We'll take a timeout. 8-point game as we wind down the second quarter. Star Watch brought to you by Macy's. Richard.
Watch this OKC defense. They always keep a body on him. Look, just pressure. He's having to navigate through two. Watch this. He's getting pressure from in front, from behind, from the side. He has nowhere to go that causes it. But watch Lou Dort. Touches his body, then gets back to his body. As soon as he moves, then he gets back to the body. Same with Alex Caruso. All defensive players, they are touching his body and making him feel him. That's what you talk about with force, playing with force.
2 field goal attempts in 17 minutes. And again, this is why OKC is such a great defensive team. They have so many different players they can send at him. Dort has been magnificent. Again, Oklahoma City in the penalty. So Randall to the line. Randall just 2 points, 3 assists early on. They're now 8 of 13 from the free throw line. Randall, great game 1. Big struggle in game 2. Excellent bounce back in game 3. And so far, struggle here in game 4. Cuts the deficit to 7. Under 3 to play. Gilgeous-Alexander already 19 points. Jalen Williams back out. The floater's up, shot no good. Rebound taken by Randall. Good tough rebound in traffic. Randall goes at Dort. Look at Dort. Randall, tough shot, won't go. Holmgren tips it. Edwards right there. Extra effort, kicks it out in the corner. Conley up top. Jaden McDaniels, 3-pointer too strong, comes right back to him. Takes it in. Awkward shot. Rebound, Randall, foul. Second and third opportunities and more free throws from Minnesota.
Well, they worked so hard defensively. They just simply couldn't finish the possession with a rebound. Watch the scramble to all of these three-point shooters. But Chet goes through, right? You got to turn and box out. You can't give one effort on a three-point shot. You got to get right back into play.
Again, the overall shooting numbers, they dipped a little bit last couple of minutes. Minnesota shooting 54%. They've got halftime presented by Hyundai coming up. There they are. Here in the building once again, getting ready to go. The calm before the storm.
Oh, yeah, big perk to plug. You got the turtleneck on. Big perk.
Randall rattles that second one in.
Look like the league of distinguished gentlemen and one lady.
Yes. Hey, this is a big 2 minutes to finish the half. This is a huge 2 minutes for both teams.
And Gilgeous-Alexander gets to the rim. Just a slight hesitation, the burst of speed. He's got 21 points in the first half.
Great execution. The timing of the Chet vacating of the paint opens the drive.
Wallace up into Edwards, the latest defender on him. Edwards searching. Finds Conley, shot clock at 7. Mike Conley using Rudy Gobert. Now sneaks into the paint, lays it up, shot no good. Randall rebound, lost it, and a 24-second violation. Turnover number 11.
Let's watch Shea work. So you see Chet's at the screen, but he vacates immediately. Alex stays on the far side. There's a lot of space, and you see the late rotation over. Everybody's reacting slowly over there, Rich.
Yeah, and for me, when you look at it, that slip out, Jay McDaniels thinking there's going to be a screen, so he looks to the left, there's no screen, and it's just a wide open gap.
Holmgren tries a three-pointer. And Randall the rebound. Randall kicks it back out. Need much room or time. That wouldn't fall though. As we come up on a minute remaining. Jalen Williams, a little fake to get rid of Conley. SGA with McDaniels in front of him. Randall helps out. Shot clock at 5. Wallace left-handed off the glass, can't get it. And a whistle and a foul. With 52 seconds remaining in the half. So free throws for OKC.
So we talk about it being a big 2 minutes. Right now, you got a layup, then you get Chet getting here fouled. You got 24-second violation for Minnesota. So when you start looking at those final 5 possessions going in the end of quarter, end of halves, this is when you're talking about a big. There's a lot of momentum that can be won or lost in the final 2 minutes.
Think about what happened last night in the New York Knicks game. Jalen Brunson's off the floor. They look like they're in trouble, Mike. And all of a sudden, that sprint to the finish changed the complexion for New York in the second half.
Coaches, they talk about it all the time. Closing quarters, closing quarters. OKC's missed 4 free throws. Minnesota 5. 8-point game. Naz Reid. Deflected out, 10 to shoot. Edwards will go take it out. Edwards has played 19 minutes, 1 for 2 from the field. Shot clock at 7. Into the hands of Edwards. Now drives, gets in the paint. Pass inside. Randall blocked by Holmgren. Randall's second effort. No, they're going to wave it off. A jump ball. Chet Holmgren with a fabulous defensive play. The Minnesota native.
Again, watch this late drop off by Anthony Edwards. And then that's just a clean block there. That's the right call, the jump ball.
No foul here. That's a foul to me. Anthony Edwards, that's a foul.
So they'll jump. If Minnesota wins the tip, they have 2.7 to shoot. Chet Holmgren from Minnehaha Academy. A great high school player. Played a bunch of huge high school games in this arena. Won 4 state titles. Randall stripped. About a 2.5-second difference shot clock and game clock. Both teams have been in the penalty for a while. Gilgeous Alexander. Caruso sets the screen, has some room. Cason Wallace, corner 3. Rebound, SGA, final seconds, puts up the shot. Banker won't go, the tip misses. Randall the rebound. And that will end a physical first half. Anthony Edwards, just 4 points. 1 of 2 from the field. Julius Randle, just 5 points. Meanwhile, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 21. And Jalen Williams with 15. OKC lost by 42 in Game 3. A terrific bounce back. Halftime of Game 4, an 8-point lead for the Thunder on the road.
Game 4 of the NBA Western Conference Finals is brought to you by Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Only in theaters July 25th. Don't miss the 4th quarter for an exclusive look at the film.
Western Conference Finals presented by AT&T. Game 4 about to start the 3rd quarter. The Thunder so far a good bounce back. They lead by 8. As we look at our first half stats brought to you by PayPal.
Well, they call it the torture chamber in Oklahoma City. He was attached to Anthony Edwards, constantly touching him up physically, and then if it's not him, it's Alex Caruso. The level of physicality by Oklahoma City was impressive.
Yeah, and Anthony Edwards has to be more aggressive. I was less worried about his first quarter, but now the first half is starting to accumulate. Him and Randall just can't see any space. Randall trying to post it up there, but he's got no angles to go to. It's just so difficult for them to work.
This is the shot chart. I mean, consider how productive they were a game ago, and just 6 field goal attempts. That's the level of intention that Oklahoma City played with, Mike.
Hi again, everyone. With Richard and Doris, Mike Green on here, and we'll check in with Lisa in a moment. All right, so how do you balance between, listen, they're doing everything, sending defenders at him to take the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands. How do you balance between not forcing it, but at the same time, you have to get yourself going?
You have to be aggressive. There's not a defense on this planet that Anthony Edwards hasn't seen. This is about his intention, how aggressive he's going to be. When you get to a great player, it's the determination in these moments.
I also think they could probably screen better for Anthony Edwards here in the second half. But think about this. You had 13 turnovers. You allowed 11 offensive rebounds, and you only got that from Julius and Anthony Edwards, and you're down 8.
They're in a good spot, DB. They're in a good spot, but one big Oklahoma push, which we have seen, all of a sudden that 8 looks 15.
Well, they also have to cut down on turnovers. 13 Minnesota turnovers. OKC took 12 more shots. Caruso, as we've seen before in the playoffs, getting the second half start. Williams and Randall. Randall working hard defensively. Caruso, the three-pointer's good. Alex Caruso knocks that one down. His first field goal, his first points, and this is the largest lead of the game. Randall in the corner, Mike Conley. Randall looking to post up, instead goes right back up to Conley. Shot clock at 5. Conley gets into the paint. That right-handed shot short, tipped by Gobert. No good. Second one is. As we send it to Lisa Salters.
Hey, Mike, Chris Finch just said, look, we're losing the possession battle. He said our offense wasn't good in the first half. He mentioned the 13 turnovers that you just talked about, Mike, and the 11 offensive rebounds. He said that just adds up to more shots at the basket for them. I asked him how to get Anthony Edwards going. He said he's got to get himself going, get to the bottom of the floor so we can set screens for him. He said they're denying him at the top of the floor, and he's just playing behind. He's got to get ahead of the play. Mike?
Thank you, Lisa. Well, everybody talking about that. Anthony Edwards just 2 shots so far in this game. Another offensive rebound. That's 13 offensive rebounds for OKC. Jalen Williams drives inside. Layup won't go. Gobert, a deterrent right there. Edwards slices inside. Layup is good. There's the attack you're talking about, Richard.
There is nothing that you really can do to stop Anthony Edwards when he is determined. He just has to find those gaps and those holes quicker and not play with it.
SGA double team. They swing it. Caruso has a clean look. His three-pointer misses. Oklahoma City 11 of 26 from 3. That's 42%. Edwards again attacks, goes inside, kicks it out. Conley. And Conley makes him pay. Quick timeout from the Thunder. The lead cut to 4.
So it's not just downhill to score, it's downhill to make the right read if you're Minnesota. Because once Anthony Edwards touches the paint, options will open up. It is going to be an impossible shot. The left-hand delivery to the left-hand finisher.
And then again, just the previous possession. Splits the double team, no shot blocker, and just high off the glass.
Game 4, the NHL Western Conference Final from Edmonton tomorrow night right here on ESPN. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with the point. Oilers lead the Stars 2-1. Our guys Sean McDonough and Ray Ferraro with a terrific call. Look forward to that. Meanwhile here, third quarter, Western Conference Finals. A 4-point game. Randall with the steal. 3-on-1. Conley back for Edwards. Lost the ball. And then Dort trips up Conley inadvertently. That's going to be 4 fouls on Lou Dort.
Live ball turnovers, those at the top of the floor. Inevitably, bad things happen if you're the defensive team now trying to defend a live ball. Dort frustrated because the ball was loose, but as he goes to dive on it, he's going to make contact with Mike Conley's legs. That's huge. Out goes Dort, out goes Holmgren.
Dort initially made a great play on a 3-on-1, but he'll sit down now. Conley, Rudy Gobert off the dribble. Oh, he throws it down. What a flush from Rudy Gobert, and it's a 2-point game. Gilgeous Alexander comes right back off the glass. 23 points for SGA. Gobert got the crowd fired up with that. Conley finds some room. Can't connect. Rebound, Hartenstein. Rebounding numbers very close. +2 right now for OKC. Gilgeous-Alexander can't hit. Conley the rebound. Conley navigating. Randall. Edwards wide open three-pointer. Edwards now 2 of 4 from the field. SGA kicks it out. Jalen Williams. And an excellent first half. The floater misses. Edwards just aggressive everywhere more here to start the third. Gets into the paint. Hartenstein has it. Ball loose, picked up by Wallace.
That is great anticipation by Hartenstein defensively.
Edwards, it's almost like he placed the ball in his stomach. As we're just over 4 minutes gone by here in the third. Gilgeous-Alexander falling away. Rebound Wallace, another offensive board. Jalen Williams puts in a three. 18 for Williams.
Rudy's frustrated a little bit right there. He's like, I'm out here guarding Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in space. I'm navigating, make him miss. Somebody's got to come clean up that glass.
Now 14 offensive rebounds for the Thunder. Mike Conley continues along, finds Edwards. Edwards on the drive, lost the handle. Caruso throws it ahead, 2-on-1. Wallace, Williams, back to Wallace, lefty layup, blocked by McDaniels. Tried to save it, but couldn't. Wow. Another sensational defensive play.
Holy smokes. What great second effort to react off that behind the back pass, and he just can't get the possession.
That is so difficult. It's that length. That's why J-Dub wanted to make the pass. He knew he couldn't go straight up because that was going to get blocked. But that's how good McDaniels is. Not only can he contest one, he can get up and block another. And then this is the effort, trying to get that loose ball to get another possession, even though it doesn't work out.
They're just arguing about whether or not they should reset the shot clock to 24. Initially, it was at 16, but now they reset it after Minnesota had possession. SGA looking now with Gobert. Steps back. Conley puts up the three. Rebound. And a loose ball foul against Minnesota. Hartenstein creating problems for the Timberwolves.
Again, look, great bigs do their work before the shot goes up. He's in that position. McDaniels knows he's in a tough spot, holds him, but that's where Hartenstein, they've been crushing them on the glass.
Second foul, McDaniels. He gets right back up on Gilgeous-Alexander. Pass deflected. Wallace has it. Shot clock at 6. Cason Wallace, jumper in the paint. That's good.
Wow, they were trying to set a flare. Ball doesn't get where it needs to be. Cason Wallace calmly goes and collects it and makes a play.
Edwards spins. Fires away, jumper. In and out, won't go. Rebound Gobert. Gobert puts it on the floor and is fouled. Jalen Williams wants him to challenge it. Mark Daigneault checking behind his bench.
It's so funny. I've seen.
Ooh, he gets the ball.
Well, that's what he asked for the review.
I think
that's the right call. He should have reviewed it. That would have been a.
I think Cason Wallace might have been looking at his left elbow. Like Cason, I think, waved him off.
Well, they called the foul, Williams. It's only his second, and Gobert going to the free throw line usually is not a bad thing for the opponent, although he knocks that one down.
You think he heard you, Mike?
I'm fairly confident he did not. And I'm also fairly confident he could care less what I say. Well, he's had a good solid game as Randall sits down. Randall trying to get going, just 5 points on 1 of 4 from the field. Touche, says Rudy Gobert. 7-point game as Gilgeous-Alexander will bring it up. Williams using the screen. Spins. Layup. Bang shot is good. Alexander Walker played him well, but Williams just better. He's got 20. Alexander Walker spark off the bench in the first half. Three-pointer here is good. He's 4 for 4 from downtown. 13 points in 11 minutes. Jalen Williams drives inside, layup, can't get it to fall. Naz Reid, fancy move. McDaniels inside, Gobert, layup is good.
That's back-to-back possessions for Rudy Gobert. He flipped the screen a couple of times to get his teammate the three, and then right in the right place offensively.
Gobert's got 8 points already here in the third quarter. Gilgeous-Alexander against McDaniels. Isaiah Joe the fake. Drives, floaters up, shot no good. Hartenstein, another offensive rebound. Williams kicks it out. Good recovery there from Naz Reid. Boy, the defensive hustle, impressive. Shot clock at 3. Knocked out of bounds. Great hands from Edwards to force the turnover. The crowd fired up right now. DiVincenzo will check in. With 5:15 left here in the third. Caruso did not get there in time to come back in. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been a terrific bench player all season long. Big impact here in game 4. DiVincenzo, plenty of time. Hits a three. 1-point game.
183 threes last year for the Knicks, but he was playing 40 minutes a night, every single night. That is a different rhythm when you got to be more efficient with just 25 minutes.
Gilgeous-Alexander over Edwards, gets it to go. Edwards was right on top of him. Minnesota has 2 bench players in double figures. They only have 2 starters in double figures. DiVincenzo tries again, puts it in, tie game.
I just mentioned it. He was on fire last year with the Knicks. One of the best three-point shooters in the league. Here you got to be more efficient. You got less minutes. But Donte DiVincenzo is starting to get hot. That's going to open up things for his teammates. And what a good screen by Nickeil Alexander-Walker to give him another half a second.
The NBA Western Conference Finals, presented by AT&T, are brought to you by Google, proud sponsor of the NBA, Burger King, and BK Have It Your Way. You rule. And Ford.
It's all even, just under 4.5 remaining here in the third quarter of game 4. Game 1, Oklahoma City up by as many as 24. Game 2 by 26. Game 3, they were down by 45. That hasn't been a lot of close games in this series. As Gilgeous-Alexander falls short, Holmgren grabs it. Holmgren off the bounce. Finds Caruso, shot clock at 6. Caruso, hard drive inside, stumbles. Still Thunderball, 4.5 to shoot.
But Nickeil Alexander-Walker doing more than just making shots. Excellent discipline, not to foul on the Shea, and then just trying to prevent the drive. He is doing things on both ends for this group.
He has become such a reliable defender here in Minnesota for Chris Finch. Wallace cuts to it, turn, shoots, jumper's good. Tough shot from Cason Wallace. That's his 3rd field goal. Alexander walk up to Naz Reid. See how far Caruso goes out to guard him. DiVincenzo off the bounce. DiVincenzo drives, stripped, ball, tips it back out to Reid. He's got time to shoot it. 1 second on the clock. DiVincenzo. Nope, didn't get it off in time.
That shot clock violation started before that ball came across half court. You talked about the pickup points. It wasn't just that first pickup point. Everybody for OKC was well above the three-point line, and it was just intense defense the entire possession.
You see the turnovers. If they're only down 2, Gilgeous-Alexander to Caruso. Alexander Walker guarding Gildas Alexander on the drive, gets inside, kicks it out corner. Caruso, three-pointer, got it as the shot clock was expiring. Both teams shooting really well from three-point range. Thunder back up 5. Edwards goes backdoor, goes inside, kicks it out. DiVincenzo up to Reed. Alexander Walker a 3. Ball knocked loose, picked up by Reed. DiVincenzo to Gobert down low, stripped and stolen by Wallace. 21-year-old Cason Wallace playing the big games of his life and fighting. See Edwards denying SGA, good ball denial. Now SGA gets it, 4 on the 24. Puts up the 3, does not get the bounce. And Naz Reid with a rebound. Timeout, Chris Finch. 5-point game here in the third quarter, still 2:12 remaining. On an extra, Doris?
Rudy Gobert just doing all the things that have made him an excellent player, trying to be a force on the offensive window. He's been an outstanding screener, so you don't get him free on the first one, so you reset it. And I don't know much about history, but I know the French and German don't like one another. And Rudy says, bonjour, Mr. Hartenstein. Have a little bit of that left-handed dunk.
What are you trying to start here? And you see the impact he's had. Had an impact in game 3. Got not big statistical impact. Well, a big part of what was a sensational defensive effort and a travel call on Alexander Walker. That's turnover number 19. The fact that they've turned it over 19 times already and only trail by 5.
But it's just, watch the pressure. Just the pressure from Caruso, that makes the handoff not easy. It makes it a little bit more difficult.
Holmgren against Naz Reid. Spins, goes inside. 7. How about that for a man his size, a spin move like that? Alexander Walker, the spin, another spin, left-handed. Oh, sweet move from Nickeil Alexander Walker.
He has been absolutely brilliant all night.
6 of 8 from the field, 16 points in 16 minutes. SGA from mid-range again, he's got 27.
We saw the impact. Second quarter, end of second quarter to start the third. This last minute and a half, who is going to make the run?
Edwards, DiVincenzo, back to Edwards, inside, lays it up and in, high in the air. Just his 3rd field goal tonight. Gildas Alexander, offensive foul. His 3rd foul.
And if there's one person that knows his moves, it would be Nickeil. And we talk about being aggressive downhill. This is Anthony Edwards. I thought he was going to finish it with a flush, but it's just the aggressiveness that we've seen in this third quarter.
But he was below the free throw line, gave it up for a moment, gets it back, and attacks on the second time.
Randall to Edwards. Final minute here in the third. Edwards trying to find some room, double team, and a foul. For OKC, that's their 3rd team foul. First in the last 2 minutes, or is that the 2nd? Yep. Well, I guess they call it in the act of shooting. Yep, they call that a shooting foul.
Well, he gathered it, and then, you know, that's that long, I'm going to put my arms out, gather the ball, and that's where the foul occurs. So watch here. Right here is the gather. So he's gathered going up. At this point in time, the referees can't decide, oh, was he going to pass it out or was he going to go up? Once you gather that ball in that space, that's an attempt.
You see that? That looks like the right call.
Oh, no doubt. And that presenting of the ball to the defender, like, go ahead and try to strip this, because you're going to come across my arms.
It's the second free throw, three-point game. In 31 minutes, he's 3 of 6 from the field, 10 points, 4 assists. Now guarding Jalen Williams. Finds Cason Wallace, stops, fires, three-pointer, missed it. Edwards goes high for the rebound. Edwards looking, drives inside, kicks it back out to Randall. Randall a three. Williams lost it, but right to SGA. Shot clock turned off. They do have a foul to give. 5 seconds. Gilgeous-Alexander, hesitation, pulls up, bank shot is good. Beautiful move from SGA, 1.1 remaining. Edwards just heaves it down. And that will end the third quarter.
You want to talk about skill work. Watch this hesitation. I'm going to look up, show him the ball, get him moving a little bit, and then just hang in the air just a little bit to tap it off the glass.
To the Western Conference Finals presented by AT&T. Chris, you said that you thought that Anthony Edwards needed to get himself going in the second half. What did you think of his third quarter?
Yeah, it was much more aggressive trying to get downhill when he had the ball. I think we did a better job of freeing him up too on some screens.
SGA, 29 points in the game. What do you have to do defensively in this fourth quarter to keep him from beating you?
Yeah, we just got to finish off with a little better contest. He's finding some angles to get some clean looks at the end of his drives.
All right, thank you, Coach. Mike.
All right, Lisa. Good start there for Minnesota. Naz Reid now 7 points off the bench. 43 bench points for Minnesota here in game 4. Shannon back in to start the fourth. Williams to Holmgren. Cason Wallace chased off the line. Kenrich Williams with 5 to shoot. Knocked away, picked up by Wallace. Back to Williams. Lines up the three, way short. Fight for the rebound. Williams comes away and banks it in. The Holmgren-Shannon collision knocked the ball loose. That's 17 offensive rebounds now for OKC. Alexander Walker tried that left-handed one again. Randall the rebound. Surrounded, finds Shannon. Layup is no good, but a foul.
Boy, they did everything right on the defensive end of the floor. And as Mike said, it's this little contact between the two guys, and Williams makes that left hand.
And then Terrence Shannon Jr., I love the young player knowing when to cut. Sometimes young players can get on the court and it looks like things are moving really fast. Knows when to cut.
Shannon, the first upcoming conference finals, TNT tomorrow night. Pacers hold the Knicks. Host the Knicks, that is, an ESPN Wednesday. Game 5 will be back in Oklahoma City. Tip off shortly after 8:30 Eastern. Shannon, first playoff run, the rookie was such a big scorer at Illinois. Not afraid of the moment. 9 points in 6 minutes off the bench. Jalen Williams kicks it out. Holmgren lines it up, nails the three. Chet Holmgren, his second three-pointer.
Boy, he and SGA tonight, there is zero hesitation shooting the three. And neither in this series has shot that well.
Oh, Alexander Walker, more razzle-dazzle. 18 points on 7 of 10 from the field. Williams the drive, bank shot, no good, but a foul. And Jalen Williams will shoot his first free throws of the night.
It's the pace in which Oklahoma City is playing at. But right now, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, that ball was on his hip, almost lost it, and then able to figure it out. But what I love, like Doris said, Chet is shooting it without hesitation, not catching and looking. If I have an opening, I'm going to step into it with confidence, knocks it down.
Holmgren, 2 for 3. Jalen Williams, 4 for 6. And Shea, 2 for 7. Like, 3 guys. Chet shot it well, but Jalen and Shea in this series have not shot the three well. I like their aggression and confidence.
Overall, they haven't shot the three ball well as a team on the road, as Williams now with 23 points. Williams, of course, got the trifecta this year. His first All-Star, his first All-NBA, made third team, and his first NBA All-Defense. made the second team. Lead back up to 6. Reed, Alexander Walker, Shannon, DiVincenzo, and Randall out there. Edwards on the bench right now. DiVincenzo fires away. That won't go. Fight for the rebound. Naz Reed. Reed making a lot of hustle plays here in the second half. Alexander Walker puts it in. He's got 21, and it's back to 3. Jalen Williams pulls up. Jumper smooth.
I don't know who's going to win this game, but whoever comes out, this is a character win for both teams. Whoever can pull this off. The way the game is playing out right now, both teams are within reach.
Shannon back in the corner. Alexander Walker steps back, another 3. Oh, good play there from Caruso to deflect it away from Randall.
But Shannon, great read. There's one man that's scorching hot. Get the ball back to him.
Jalen Williams bouncing against Naz Reed. Shake and bake, 3-pointer. Holmgren tips it out, ball knocked loose. And Reed caroms into Wallace and picks up the personal foul. That'll be his second.
Mike, you were talking about the hustle plays he's made. He's just trying to get a track on a loose basketball.
Again, Williams, this is so smooth. This is such a difficult shot. You know, we talk about Shea doing it often. Anthony Edwards has some pull-up game, but really, J-Dub, when he gets in there, that little pullback, difficult to stop.
Anthony Edwards back in. Holmgren now drives inside. Lost the ball. Picked up by DiVincenzo to Edwards. Edwards to the rim. Rebound. Follow is good. Second efforts. Jalen Williams to the rim. Short. But Holmgren right there on the follow. DiVincenzo, his best game of the series by far. Working against Holmgren on the drive. Kicks it out in the corner. Randall steps, fires, 3-pointer, missed it. Rebound right back to Randall inside. Missed it again, and a foul on Holmgren. Second foul on Chet Holmgren. Randall to the free throw line.
Let's watch Chet Holmgren, who is lean of frame but competitively tough of mind. Good hard drive, contested the rim by 2 guys, and Chet's just tracking the guy.
And Mark Daigneault is going to challenge this call. Feels Holmgren went straight up. Be an interesting decision from the officials.
The NBA Western Conference Finals are presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And in part by Miller Lite. With great taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time. And Google, proud sponsor of the NBA.
Thank you, Scott. We just had a successful challenge by OKC. Watch Chet Holmgren went straight up. For those wondering about him being in the restricted area, once the defender leaves his feet to go up, it negates the restricted area. But the ball went off of Holmgren's head, so it's Minnesota ball, but no free throws and no foul. Randall has it, and they still 10 to shoot. Edwards on a drive. Dort trying to stay with him. Corner 3. Shot no good. Reed the rebound and fouled. Naz Reed with a force. His 6th rebound. Gilgeous Alexander, I believe the call was on him. That's his 4th.
And look, OKC is small right now. They don't have a traditional big on the floor. And that's when you got to hit the glass. You see Randall in the middle of the floor. I love to see Naz Reed. Yes, he's a shooting big, but he is still a big. Hit that glass.
So Jalen Williams is at the 5. And remember, there was a period of time this year where both Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein were out, and Williams held up at the 5 position. But this is a big ask. I wonder how long they stay this downsized.
Big free throws there for Naz Reid. 9 points, 6 rebounds. One of the NBA's best 6 men. Just under 8 minutes remaining here in game 4. Williams against DiVincenzo. Gets inside. Nice feed. Caruso missed it. But a goaltend. Reed hit it after it caromed off the backboard. Great feed from Jalen Williams.
And again, it's this, you put Alex Caruso, so when you play a small lineup, somebody still has to be in that dunker. Alex Caruso navigates the backside, gets open.
That might not have gone in. Edwards goes inside. Oh, beautiful move from Anthony Edwards. Just 12 points, but he has his team within 3 with 7.5 remaining. Reed picks up SGA, who tells Dort to go through. Pull up, jump shot, got it.
He's got one man to beat, and his ability to get to his spots and the pace. There's no rush. I'm going to get to my spot because I'm 6'6", and I can rise up.
Moving screen called on McDaniels, and look who caused it. Once again, Lou Dort. That's 3 on McDaniels.
That's the right call. Look, there's not much there. But watch Shea walk. He navigates his player walk. He's walking there. He's walking there because he knows he just wants to get to that spot. So it's just the pace in which he plays at is just different and hard to guard. There's not stopping that because he's just trying to get to his spot.
He's back over 30 again. Pass to Holmgren. Holmgren, good look for 3. It's good. Jed Holmgren from downtown. And the lead back up to 8. Timeout, Minnesota. Holmgren with a 20-point game. And for SGA, his 8th assist, Doris.
The man is the MVP for a reason, Mike. He has been under control. He sees the challenge. Naz does a great job. He was not on point with his passing in game 3, but that's in the pocket, and Chet just has to step in.
Time for the AT&T Connected Cam. Richard.
Chet Holmgren, the Minnesota native, won 4 state championships in this building. He feels very, very comfortable doing a little bit of everything for OKC. It's been impressive to watch, and knocking down just open shot. He's got 20 points off 8 of 12 shooting.
Also 7 boards, a block shot, contesting a lot of other shots as well. His 3-pointer that he just hit was changed to a 2 during that timeout. The toe just right on the line. So now he has 19 points and a lead is 7. Still plenty of time. Dort fighting over another screen. Does it again. Edwards gets into the paint, kicks it out in the corner. Alexander Walker, nope. They wave it off a foul before the shot.
Is that on Shea because that's 5, or is that going the other way?
It's on Edwards. Second foul on Anthony Edwards.
You don't like it, but that's just the call. It was an accident. He didn't mean to knock him off, but it doesn't give the defender an opportunity to get to contest the ball.
That's the 21st turnover for Minnesota. Back into the hands of Gilgeous-Alexander. Shot clock down to 8. Backing in against his cousin. Up top, Holmgren. This is a 3-pointer. Won't go. Cason Wallace, another offensive rebound. Holmgren right there on the follow. 19 offensive rebounds for OKC, and it's a 9-point lead. Dort fighting. Edwards, a contested 3. It's good! Anthony Edwards with a big bucket. Holmgren right in his face. That's his first 3-pointer of the night. SGA the drive, the finish, can't get it. Alexander Walker drives inside, strip, lost it out of bounds, and still Minnesota ball.
Keep talking about this was the most prolific 3-point shooter in the league this year, and that is a tough shot with that contest.
And then look, Chet misses that shot. Case and Wallace gets it. Look, that type of pass just finished itself. When you're that open, you get a good pass.
Caruso back in. Wallace sits down. DiVincenzo wide open, puts up a three. Puts it in! Some DiVincenzo dynamite here in game 4. It's a 3-point game.
What a response for DiVincenzo. Monumental struggle, but a big spot, and he's responded.
SGA, offensive foul on Caruso.
DiVincenzo came into this basketball game shooting 26% from 3. But every series en route to this Western Conference Finals, he's had himself a game, and he's doing it again tonight.
Edwards trying to get free. Puts up the three. In and out. Gobert tips it. And right to SGA as we hit the 5-minute mark. SGA spins. Gobert looking to help. Taking his time. Falling away. It's up. It's good. SGA playing like an MVP. 33 points.
It's got to be a nice luxury when you got a guy that scores 30 on 50% shooting. Half the shots that he throws up are good every single night.
Gobert gets free, kicks it out. McDaniels a three. That's good. Minnesota with another answer. 16 more threes for the Timberwolves. Gilgeous-Alexander to Holmgren. Off the bounce. A lot of contact, they let it go. Inside Caruso, layup, he banks it home. Beautiful pass from Holmgren.
Alex Caruso lurking on the baseline again.
Edwards gets free, kicks it out in the corner. Alexander Walker blocked by Dort. SGA guarded by McDaniels. 6'9" and long arms. Williams trying to set a screen. Now it's SGA against Gobert. Shot clock at 7. Drives, pulls back, drives again. Stops, falls down, gets it to Williams. 3-pointer. It's good. Jalen Williams with a big bucket. And a timeout call by Minnesota. The lead up to 7 with 3.5 to play. Minnesota thought there should have been a travel.
They thought there should have been a travel. He keeps that left pivot foot down. That grip on the Converse is good. And so is that three by J-Dub. Watch it, he puts that pivot foot down, keeps it, but through the wickets, the 5-hole. For the 3, look, he's watching it the whole way.
Well, the offensive rebound and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they want to show him a crowd. And we have seen them attack the baseline multiple times. That corner crash is such a big part of the NBA. Flame on, you 4. Multiple looks. Get to the 3-point bucket. Down it goes.
And just here again, every time they get that second opportunity, they used to call those daggers. When you get that offensive rebound, now everyone's crashed. There's 3-point shooters wide open. Those are dagger threes.
A critical time right now in this critical game. OKC trying to take a 3-1 commanding lead. Minnesota desperate to tie it up. Right now they trail by 7. Edwards on the drive. Lost the handle. Picked up by Caruso. The 22nd turnover for the T-Wolves.
And they're putting a small on Rudy Gobert. So whenever he comes up to set a screen, it's a simple switch.
Dort, Holmgren, spins, drives, cross-court Caruso, inside, SGA jumper, won't go. Fight for the rebound, and a loose ball foul against Holmgren. Not in the penalty yet. That's the 3rd team foul.
Yeah, no, they were wondering if they should review that. They did a good job keeping that review in their pocket.
Edwards against Dort. Edwards getting free, back up top, McDaniels. McDaniels down a lane, gets inside, lays it in off the glass.
But to the point, they're not having Rudy Gobert go up now. What they're doing is they brought Jaden McDaniels up there so that you could get Chet on that screen.
Gilgeous-Alexander once again against his cousin. Pulls up, shot blocked, but a foul. Alexander Walker saying challenge it. They had a successful challenge earlier in the game, so they still have one remaining.
Oh, it's a foul.
Yep.
I'm just saying, if I'm a coach and I use a challenge and you foul the player, oh, there's a fine involved. There's some sort of fine that's going in the pot. I'm keeping the percentages on how many times you're right, because every player is saying review it, Mike.
You had to like how adamant he was that it was a clean block. Free throw is good. Well, in honor of Memorial Day, please join the NBA family in recognizing the service and sacrifice of our nation's military and their families. Always keep in mind the families as Gilgeous-Alexander hits 2 free throws. Back up to 7. He's got 35. Still 2:20 remaining. Edwards, head down, drives inside, kicks it out. DiVincenzo, another 3. Got it! Dante DiVincenzo lighting it up. He's got 21.
The number of open corner threes by Minnesota, the right reads by Anthony Edwards.
DiVincenzo harassing Williams. Williams on the drive, pulls up, difficult shot, goes in. Jalen Williams with 31. 11 here in the 4th quarter. Under 2 minutes remaining. Edwards looking for an opening, finds McDaniels, corner. Alexander Walker in and out. DiVincenzo back out McDaniels. Alexander Walker on the drive, goes inside, lays it up and in. What a beautiful move, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Shea might have 35, but the cousin is cooking right now. Eight on a 24. Williams puts it in. Jalen Williams answers once again. And it's back up to 7 with 1:18 remaining. McDaniels drives, goes inside, lays it up and in. With 1:10 left. Still time. Each team with multiple timeouts remaining.
I love watching Shea continuing to direct traffic. Look, he's wasting time. He's trying to go as late in the shot clock as possible.
One-on-one. SGA falling away, puts it up. Won't go. Rebound DiVincenzo. Edwards looks to push. Caruso in front. Edwards to McDaniels. McDaniels on the drive to spin. The layup blocked by Holmgren. Picked up by SGA. And a foul. Alexander Walker. What a sensational block from Chet Holmgren, who looked absolutely gassed right now.
But how about the mobility of the 7-footer? That's a spin move. It looks like he's lost his balance. The ability at that size to recover and not have that hit window first. Folks, you are looking at a big-time shot blocker.
That was a foul to give, so now the next one will put them in the penalty. With 35.3 seconds remaining. Caruso, Holmgren, Dort, Williams, and Gilgeous-Alexander out there. In a 5-point game, they don't come up with a steal, they have to look to foul. SGA turns it over, the double team, knocks it away. Here comes Edwards. Edwards puts up a 3. Dort couldn't get it. Alexander Walker, McDaniels, 3-pointer, bang! 2-point game with 23.1 remaining. Gilgeous-Alexander in the front court. They have to foul if they don't get the turnover. And there's the reach-in foul on Alexander Walker. So clutch free throws right now, the opportunity for SGA with 14.5 remaining. Everybody out there on the floor right now looks absolutely exhausted, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Mike. If you're not exhausted at the end of an Eastern Conference playoff game, or Western Conference, excuse me, you are not doing what you're supposed to do out there on that court.
He's 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Conley sinks the first. Makes it a 3-point game. This one crucial as Julius Randle is going to come back in. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an 85% career free throw shooter.
Minnesota has 2 timeouts. So if he makes it, do you use one to advance it?
I would say yes, because 14 seconds is not a lot of time. You can't waste much, and here it comes.
Those are 2 of the biggest free throws of his career. Nails them both. Minnesota ball down 4, 14-5 remaining. Back here in game 4. Some special shot making right now. OKC up by 4. Minnesota ball, 14.5 remaining. They still have a timeout remaining. OKC has a foul to give.
Remember, in the Denver series, they went a little early in this situation, OKC. It ended up costing them. So, Richard, at what point do you want to use your foul to give here?
It gets dangerous because if you wait 4 or 5 seconds, a player has a chance to get into his shot motion, and now you're in a heap of trouble.
Alexander Walker will inbound. Williams guarding the inbounds. Rudy Gobert out there to set a screen. Looking for DiVincenzo. He was open, couldn't get it to him. Now Edwards back to DiVincenzo. Off the bounce, goes inside. Quickly, can't get it to go. Gobert's follow. The second one's good with 9.9 remaining. And a timeout by OKC. Their lead cut to 2. We'll take a quick timeout. Thunder ball when we return. The Oklahoma City Thunder 3-1 lead in this Western Conference final. They've just got to inbound the ball and perhaps hit some free throws.
You say just have to inbound the ball, but we have seen in the course of this playoff, simple inbounds have been problematic. If you're Minnesota, your length has bothered them some defensively, so I wonder, do you give yourself a second and a half maybe to try to go for a steal before you foul?
You do, because you have another timeout so you can advance it. And then you want to leave yourself a little bit of time with this free throw game, maybe 6 seconds, so that you can bring it up when you have no more timeouts afterwards.
The key for both teams that each has 1 remaining, so if the Thunder have trouble getting it in, they can call their final timeout. Execution here is key. Caruso looking, and uses that timeout. Did not want to wait until it got close to that 5-second count. Great ball denial from Minnesota. And now the Thunder out of timeouts.
Well, you've completely downsized because you want speed on the floor. McDaniels helping out, great deny. You force him to use it. Beautiful.
Wednesday night on ESPN will be in Oklahoma City for Game 5 of this Western Conference Finals. Coverage starts NBA Countdown 7:30 Eastern. Tip-off shortly after 8:30. Will the Thunder have that 3-1 lead, or will the Wolves pull off a miracle to close this out and even the series of 2 games apiece? Caruso will inbound again. Dort, Gilgeous-Alexander, Holmgren, and Jalen Williams.
A lot more pressure on the inbounder. I'd rather than turn it over in a tough spot, eat it.
SGA gets it and immediately fouled by Shannon, so he will go to the free throw line. Chance to give them a 4-point lead with 8.8 remaining.
And that's a lot of faith to give the rookie SGA. But you trust in his defense, his pressure, and you want to foul right away because you want to have enough time. But Minnesota's got 1 more timeout left.
The NBA scoring champion, the NBA MVP right now. But again, 2 of the biggest free throws of his career. This one critical to make it a 4-point game. Rebounding substitution for Minnesota.
Should he miss, decision for Chris Finch. Play and flow before they set their defense without a timeout, or use it?
I call a timeout right now.
Missed the second. Randle the rebound and a quick timeout. Minnesota still alive. Only down 3 with 8.4 remaining. Gilgeous-Alexander was 10 for 11 before that free throw. So Minnesota needs a 3 to tie and send it to overtime. You see both teams out of timeouts, and remember, when you're out of timeouts, you can't challenge anything if there's a controversial play. There's still 8.4 remaining. Minnesota will advance the ball to the front court. What do you expect from them?
Well, this is the thing. With that foul to give, it becomes a little dicey because they can just catch and go up in their shooting motion, so you get a little nervous. If I still like the foul for OKC. If they get an opportunity on a catch, foul them. Don't even give that opportunity for a 3.
Teams practice this all the time to try and commit the right way to make sure it's not in the shooting motion.
Mark Daigneault has done this before where he has fouled in this situation. Again, the Denver series, it bit him a little bit.
And no fouls to give. Or excuse me, the one foul to give, no timeouts for Minnesota. They lob it into Reed. And there's the quick foul. Well, that was so quick. About a half second came off the clock, so now they'll do it again. Remember, Minnesota does not have any timeouts left.
You do it again, and then you've got to get your bigs back on the floor. Right now, it's all smalls because of the speed.
DiVincenzo looking. Find Naz Reid. And there's the foul.
And here comes Hartenstein.
So it's 7.2 remaining. Boy, they didn't waste any time. Reed's going to go to the free throw line, down 3. The problem for Minnesota right now, they don't have timeouts. So is it too early to make one and then try and miss and get the rebound?
I think it is too early because with 7 seconds, you have plenty of time to get the ball up the floor and get a good shot. But like I said, it gets a little dicey on those catch and shoots. When you're trying to foul, they fouled immediately, and I like that from OKC.
Dort fouls out. Reed 2 for 2 from the line tonight. Conley sinks that one. That makes it a 2-point. Going to come in. Now let's see what the strategy from Chris Finch is. 7.2 seconds, a lot of time in the NBA. So let's see if Reed intentionally tries to miss it as Gobert's in there. Or do they cut it to 1 and then try and steal or commit a foul? Reed knocks down the second. 1-point game. Gilgeous-Alexander has it and quickly fouled with 6.1 remaining. And even if he hits these 2, it's still a 3-point game. Now Minnesota does not have any timeouts left, but can certainly go the length of the floor.
Cousin against Cousin, and he gets himself open again. And then just it's about protecting that basketball.
Well, he's had 4 big free throws down the stretch here at crunch time. 3 for 4. He just missed his last one.
Mike, if he hits both of these, I like that you want to foul. I like that idea of fouling them, not getting. And he maybe even before he gets past half court, after half court it gets dicey because you can shoot it. Before half court, take 2.5 seconds off, give a foul, give him 2 free throws, and just keep burning the clock.
The most he's ever scored in a playoff game, 39. This one enormous to make it a 3-point lead. 6.1 seconds left. Both teams out of timeouts. Second one. Got it. 2 clutch free throws there. DiVincenzo going to look to throw it down the floor. Gets it to Edwards. Edwards bringing it up. Caruso right with him, and there's the foul. Caruso played it perfectly. And now Edwards will shoot with 3.5 remaining. Now you have to think he's going to miss the second one.
The speed and to get that on the downward dribble, just perfect defensive execution.
Yeah, again, it's the foul before half court. That gives you an opportunity. OKC wants a little bit of time to burn off that clock before the foul, but after half court, it gets dicey, especially with the range of these players.
Edwards from the line, 4 of 5, just 15 points tonight. Knocks down the first. And now you see Gobert coming in. Hartenstein will be right next to him. It's not easy to miss a free throw intentionally sometimes. You have to make sure you hit the rim. Everybody along the lane can go in on the release. Edwards has to wait until it hits something. Jalen Williams, who hasn't played, comes in to help out on the boards against Randall. Edwards, bank shot no good. Rebound, Gilgeous-Alexander holds it, throws it down the court, goes out of bounds with 1/10 of a second remaining. Right now, the officials are going to get together and talk about it. There's still 1/10 of a second on the clock.
The fan caught it, Mike. So what impact does that have on that?
It really has no impact because there's 0.1 second left to go. You can't get off a shot with 0.1.
Well, if Minnesota inbounds, you throw it at the rim, and a tip can do it, but that's the only thing. You can't catch and shoot.
And there's no goaltending in that moment, so you can literally try and make it as somebody touches the ball.
He looks like, oh, see, there's more time on the clock there. And is he breaking the plane of that sideline right there?
That's what Hartenstein was complaining about to the referees.
Well, the ball was certainly going out of bounds, but Zach Zarba lines it up. They are not putting any time back on the clock. It just says 1/10 of a second remaining.
Because I think they're trying to say that the play, yeah, see, I think they're going to discuss it.
Zach Zarba, Billy Kennedy, James Williams, 3 veteran officials, 64 seasons of NBA officiating. So Zarba's going to go over to the scores table, and I think they're going to put time back on the clock. OKC putting Holmgren on the inbound. Smart move, the 7-footer. Now they put 3/10 of a second. So this you can catch and shoot with 3/10 of a second. It has to be quick and immediate, obviously. But 3/10 of a second can be a catch and shoot. We'll see if they lob it up at Gobert or try another route, trying to get it to Edwards to hoist up a long shot. Throws it inside, deflected from Williams, and that's it. It's over. Oklahoma City rebounds from a 42-point loss and takes a commanding 3-1 lead in this Western Conference final. Another hard-fought game from Minnesota. The first close game of the series. Anthony Edwards struggled scoring tonight, but they had their chances down the stretch. And OKC hitting all the big shots.
We said it. This is a character win. OKC trying to take that commanding lead, getting that punch in game 3, then showing back up here in game 4, a close game. After all the things that they've been through after last game, listening to everything, coming out here and battling. And Chet Holmgren was trying to tell the officials that he touched that ball on the original flight.
A disappointing evening for the Timberwolves fans. But OKC bounces back as they've done time and time again. And now 1 win final to Lisa Salters.
Thank you, Mike. J-Dub, it seemed like every time they made a push, you guys responded. How were you able to hold them off?
Just trust each other and stack possessions.
You don't have a lot to say about that.
That's all I got. You want me for TV? I don't know. Just play hard, compete together. The game has ups and downs. You know, the typical thing I usually say.
Shea, I'm going to come to you then. J-Dub had a game.
Yeah, I got you.
Shed had a game. Just describe the impact that these guys had.
They were amazing tonight. They were confident. They weren't rattled by the moment. Like, there's so much to say about the work they put in, the effort, and the character that those 2 guys have. They deserve these moments, and they're stepping into them with full confidence and taking advantage of them, and I'm nothing but proud of these 2.
How were you able to keep your cousin from beating you guys?
Yeah, it was close to it. He had a hell of a game. They're a really good team, so you try to do a good job on their main guys, and their B, C, and D guys get off, and they're a really good team, and you got to try to do the job all the way around. And it's harder than it looks, but they're a good team. So guys are going to play well. We just have to figure out how to win, and we got to win tonight, so we're happy.
Chet, while you guys were doing your thing on offense, Lou Dort was holding it down on Anthony Edwards. Just what impressed you about what he was able to do tonight defensively?
Honestly, I don't know if I'm impressed anymore because I see it every night. It's so normal to us. There's a reason he was first-time all-defense this year. There's a lot of reasons he should have been years before this, but he's getting his recognition now, and, you know, I'm happy for him. and he was big tonight.
For all you guys, up 3-1 now, you get a chance to close it out at home in Oklahoma City on Wednesday. How do you get it done?
Play to our identity on both ends of the floor. If we do that, we'll be just fine. If not, it can get ugly. So we just got to be who we are and trust our work, trust our habits.
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, Lisa, such a connected bunch. And again, after that 42-point loss in Game 3, their egos took a little bit of a hit, but bounced back with a terrific road win in front of a raucous crowd and a determined Timberwolves team. So now lead it 3-1. Game 5 will be in Oklahoma City, a chance to clinch on their home floor with this terrific victory here tonight in Minneapolis. Our producer Tim Corrigan, director Mike Schwab, for Doris, Richard, and Lisa, and our entire ESPN crew. Don't forget Wednesday night, Game 5. We'll have it for you 8:30 Eastern. We say goodnight from Minneapolis. Right now, let's get you to Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt.
Иди, иди за мной, покорной, верною моей рабой. Я на сверкнувший гребень горный взлечу уверенно с тобой. Я пронесу тебя над бездной, ее бездонностью дразня. Твой будет ужас бесполезный, лишь вдохновением для меня. Я от дождя эфирной пыли и от крушения охраню всей силой мышц и сенью крыльев, и вознося не уроню. И на горах в сверкании белом, на незапятнанном лугу, божественно прекрасным телом тебя я странно.
Я медленно бредя меж пьяными, всегда без спутников, одна, дыша духами и туманами. Она садится у окна и веет древними поверьями. Ее упругие шелка и шляпа с травными перьями, и в кольцах узкая рука, и странной близостью закованный смотрю за темную вуаль, и вижу берег очарованный и очарованную даль. Глухие тайны мне поручены, мне чье-то солнце вручено, и все души моей излучены пронзило терпкое вино. И перестался склоненные в моем качаются мозгу, и очи синие бездонные цветут на дальнем берегу.
It's so cold. Now I'm wondering how I'm gonna get you back. Hey, nothing about to make it right. Jamila ya payment. The doggy da bangan Jamila ba. The doggy da banji Marianta ba. Hey, wayo, I name a man Jamila. Jamila, don Allah gida babu abin da zai raba mu har abada. Jamila, zuciya na ɓaciwa. Gida gida, gida gida, gida gida. Ooh, no matter what people do or say, this love will never die. If I knew I never hurt you so bad, drinking so much, too much women in my life, wash mata. Jamila, I'm so sorry, I mean a girl. In a doggy da na gan Jamila na, in a doggy da in ji muryan Jamila, in ji abincin Jamila.